Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First, I'd like to check whether the sound and video is okay. Okay. So, is all right. Okay. So, sound and video okay, is it? So, Ain, Asia, Zulaika, and Camila is responding to the technicalities, is it? It's okay, the sound and video. Yes? Okay. It seems that there's a bit of a lag between my questions and the chat, but hopefully everything is will be better after this. Okay, so once again, inshallah, let's begin this session with Umul Kitab Al-Fatihah. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, we are in the second session of the RPID progress or RPID updates. Alhamdulillah, at the same time, we are now in the 15th day of Ramadan. Hopefully, every one of you are still healthy. And we have used our times in this Ramadan for the benefits of ourselves. We've been using it to gain as much as possible of barakah, of blessings, utilizing all the benefits of Ramadan. So um, are doing the tilawah and doing charity and all those that will be given extra benefit and extra pahala, inshallah. So as I've informed through Nabiha, so this session will be another update with regards to the MCO and your um, teaching and learning once you start the new semester. So if you have seen the thumbnail that I went during the before we started this live session. So I mentioned about the activation of the ERTL, so which stands for Emergency Remote Teaching and Learning. Okay, so this is which was the ERTL was activated on the 28th of April in response to the um, requirements by the Ministry of Education, and obviously in aligned to the MKN or Majlis Keselamatan Negara policy with regards to the conduct of teaching and learning in all the Institute of Higher Learning in all the universities in Malaysia. Okay, so we've got new updates, and so during this period of time, just to share to you, all the lecturers are busy learning about e-learning. We every day there is at least one class for e-learning to prepare ourselves to align all the assessment of the learning objective and all the tools to prepare ourselves for this coming semester, which unfortunately and needs to be conducted everything online. Okay, so and I think this is what we'll be sharing. So previously, I think if I remember, because I've been seeing a few classes, the first time when we met through the online, I think we did mention that you will be coming back. You'll be returning to campus on the 1st as the semester starts, on the 1st of June. So now the policy is that you will not, by default, you will not be coming back to the campus. except for a few students. For example, those who do not have adequate or sufficient internet access, where the university will allow you to come back, but not within this, not within the early weeks of the semester reopens. There will be a specific time that will be mentioned to you, when that, so those students will be able to come back and then stay at the mahala for one particular reason, just to use the mahala's internet access, not to come to class or anything, just to be able to use or utilize the internet access. For those who do not have any problems with the internet, you will still be able to study from home. Great. So that is something that you will have to prepare for. Okay. I'm not sure whether you have been briefed about this by any other lecturers, about this face-to-face, or you have been given the circulation. I think you, for all the batch leaders, I don't know whether it's through SRC or through the DDSA, you are being given the circulation on ERTL, so which says about you will have to learn, everything is through online, so there's no more face-to-face, even though there it mentions about students from clinical, about lab and everything. Just bear in mind, those would require Senate approval and the ministry approval. And so the circulation came on the 27th of April, but there was a new circulation by the ministry where they don't want any kind of face-to-face. So at the moment, after that date, there were several discussions, even the kuliah discussion. So what have been decided is that at the moment we will conduct everything online, even the final exam. So those that have lab, they will change it to demonstration, even kitchen. We are trying as much as possible to make it online. So how that is going to be conducted, your coordinator will work on it. So all of those will be shared to you once the school reopens, or dependent on each coordinator. So they will inform you. So you have to also please bear in mind that even the lecturers are getting things quite ad hoc. All the information have been changing, so we have to do some discussions online, which is also a challenge for us. And then we have to change the course outline and allow to suit the learning outcome. So we cannot simply just get rid of certain things. Everything needs to be following the course outcome, the objective. And a change in the course outcome needs to be approved by the kuliah and then by the Senate. So it's quite there's quite some process. But alhamdulillah, due to the challenges, everyone is making it a bit more faster and more efficient. So to enable the teaching and learning to be conducted. So that's a bit of the background that I want you to know. So with regards to FYP, which I think can affect quite a lot, because FYP, the dynamics is even larger, and because every single person is affected differently, and your timetable is also different. So I'm taking this effort proactively before even the semester starts, just to give you some ample time to think of. And I think if you have friends from other departments, which I wouldn't want to say here, you might know what is happening. So if you can some of respond in chat, I would be also glad to know. If you know what's happening from other departments, they are also affected by the FYP. And I'm also hearing some somehow, not complaints, but yeah, bit negative comments and feelings from those students. So you can ask them what's happening. But fortunately, Alhamdulillah, I think you all are not having such as much difficulties as them. Okay, so why is first, okay, biomed, I don't know. You have to, looks like you don't have, yeah, there are some other departments. Okay, they have to change the topic and so on and so forth. Okay, so for you, as I've mentioned to Ain, Nabiha, you, for those who have started data collection, which I think most of you have started data collection. So the other day when we did the department meeting among us lecturers, so I asked the supervisors, what is the progress of your students? And most of them, except for only one lecturer at that moment, unless the supervisor at that time wasn't aware of their student, only one supervisor had quite a challenge. One of the students who has not started data collection at all. Okay, so only one. The rest mostly has started either lab work or survey, and even 10 to 20% data collection is still data. Okay. So because of that, everyone had a consensus where we accept your data, whatever you have got, okay, which is actually something good for you. Meaning that, for example, somebody has, for example, Sharif, I only can say Sharif because he's my student. Data or respondent that he needs to collect is about 100. But at the moment when the MCO initiated, you only managed to get 30 respondents, for example. And then your data needs to be taken. For example, Sharif is doing Pasar Malam respondents. You need to go to the Pasar Malam people, tapi Pasar Malam pun is not here, is not present. So how can you get the data? So we can only so you are allowed to collect your data is sufficient for 30 respondents, even though your sample calculation requires for 100. But no problem, everyone, all the lecturers agree, we will consider your data to be okay for 30. But for for Sharif's case, actually he has got all the data already. Okay, so he is no problem with this. But this is just an example. So if cases like that, we consider 30 is okay. Okay, enough for you. So when we will do for your poster presentation, for the final presentation and even the progress, we will consider only 30 is enough. Nevertheless, your data collection can be conducted online. It does not require at all physical. For example, if you can do it questionnaire among IUM students online, e-questionnaire. If it is feasible, it can be sent to others. The lecturer might ask because it's just among, for example, just for among students in Kuliah of Allied Health. So you can do it online. So that one you must be careful. So that one we can consider you need to try as much as possible to get the numbers. But for those that really require physical, people outside, like in one particular area, you need to get respondents from Kawasan Kuantan or something like that. It's very hard to get random people to get their numbers. So that is not impossible, so we can stop. But for just UIA students, I don't think it is quite a challenge to get the numbers and to send the questionnaire as a Google form. Unless the form itself needs something quite special, so that's another story. You need to justify. But by default, in general, all the lecturers are aware of this. And even though you have 3 objectives, if it only covers just 1 or 2 objectives, then we will say, okay, we understand the limitation. But if you, at the same time, try as much as possible if you can change other questions or try to achieve all the objectives. But if you cannot, remember that everyone knows and everyone is aware of this challenge. So somehow you have this this opportunity to be, we are a bit more lenient on this. Okay, so which is a bonus and something special for you. So for that one is for survey. For lab work, similar. If you have your third objective is to conduct food tasting, and you need to conduct this in the lab, sensory lab in the kuliah, then you can just omit that objective because you're not allowed to go into the lab. So you can stop those 2. Okay, so that's for result analysis. What else? Data and other maybe questionnaire. Okay. Any questions so far? Before I go into, I'll just stop for a while and get some response. Any questions so far? Anything that you require clarification? Okay. Is this something good or is this something bad news or good news? Anyone? Are we still here? Okay, still here. Okay. Zulaika is asking about progress presentation. Okay. So progress presentation will be conducted still online. Okay, so just the same online, and we will do it because it will be in a smaller group, and we will do it using Google Hangout. Unless that particular student has issues, you will do it in recorded and then send. Okay. So by default at the moment, progress presentation is using, presentation is using Google Hangout. So the assessor will do so for example, one assessor, there's about 5 students, like you did your proposal. So those students will be together within that presentation, in that Google presentation, Google Hangout. So one person, 10 minutes. So maybe, for example, 6 students, so there will be 1 hour session among those 5. So everyone will present their progress. Okay, the challenge would be for Zoom, it's limited for presentation for 45 minutes only. So that's the challenge, but you need to give the presentation. So I think because Zoom is a Google Hangout, you cannot present, I think. You cannot present the slides because I've been using Zoom. So the Zoom, you can present slide, you can see. I'll tell you the medium. That's something that I also am trying to fine tune. Yes, for the slide presentation. So it's either you send the slide presentation and then you just talk without the slide appearing, which would be more smoother, or it will be you presenting, and then if you have previously you zoom, when you present, you can, the picture of you will appear, and then the presentation will appear. Both can appear at the same time. So it's even easier. But if that's not feasible, you can just send the presentation to the assessor, and then you present, and then they will just go through. You will have to mention the first slide. So we move to the second slide, and then so on and so forth. So it's going to be like that. Okay. Okay. That was course outline akan berubah juga. Alia Hanani asking. So course outline, the assessment part will change. The learning outcome will not change, but the assessment will change. So that's up to the coordinator. So they will change, especially maybe the assessments will differ a bit, especially of how the conduct of the assessment. Previously, it's face-to-face, so they will change to video presentation, or a certain others requires lab. They will have to change the method to demo, and so on and so forth. So every particular course will be different. So all the courses are different. So that one will be briefed by all the respected course coordinator. Yang tak siap lab work. So Aisyah Aida is asking, yang tak siap lab work kena tukar scientific review. No. That is wrong. The question if your question is yang tak siap lab work kena tukar scientific review, is wrong. Yang tak siap means she or he has started lab work. Continue. So whatever you have the data, you tabulate the result, analyze the result, whatever you have, and then discuss the result, and then try as much as possible to add or analyze on what you have on the results that you have. And then if you can fine-tune the objective, discuss with your supervisor, maybe add other discussion, or maybe tabulate in a different way, but everything revolves on only whatever data you have. Okay. And then add on discussion would be on scientific review of whatever you have. So just add like it's not a level of what you call that systematic review, but it becomes a bit more just discussion on, for example, you add on challenges or different methods of doing that, what others have done. So it's a bit more on a long discussion to enhance your thesis. But the data collection stops there. It's not that you are changing your topic. No, it's still using lab work, but the discussion and the results has somehow become a bit more dynamic, and the discussion is a bit more added, is a bit more open. So it's not just limited to your own particular data collected. So it's a bit more on enhanced discussion and writing. So the writing will become a bit more compared to the data. So you don't have to change topic. So you still follow the same topic. The literature review remains. The objective remains. Everything remains. So don't change. But you only can modify your results and enhance the discussion. So I think that is the particular meaning. Okay, that's the question. For those who have not started any data collection or any lab, that's when you need to change to a scientific review. So you don't have any data, but the topic remains the same. So you just discuss. So how you conduct the system, the scientific review, you need to discuss with your supervisor. So at the moment, because it will be different from each topic, but it's everyone agrees that it's an enhanced discussion of your literature review. This is for those who have not started anything, any data collection, because you don't have anything. You cannot enhance the discussion of the result because obviously you don't have any data. So you only have your literature review. So now you need to discuss on what maybe what other findings people have got with regards to that particular scope, what kind of data analysis they conduct, and some examples of results that they found. So it's a bit, so you need to discuss with your supervisor on this. But it's not going to be level of systematic review. It's just scientific review. It's using all the data there. Like it's like an expansion of a literature review, a bit more discussion, something like that. Okay. Okay. So hopefully you understand about that. So you are not changing topic, and then even the lab work you are not changing to scientific review, especially for those who have started lab work. It becomes an enhanced discussion. So and then your and maybe a kind of reduced expectation for your objectives, but still formatting similar. Okay, okay. Aisyah Aida. So okay, all right, noted. Thank you. So Siti Ainun's question is optional method untuk presentation tu kita deal dengan examiner. Yes, yes. So by default, the best way is what you call synchronous. So this term I want you to know that there's two types of e-learning. One is synchronous, and the other one is asynchronous. Synchronous means like this. This is synchronous. I'm teaching, and then you can respond real time. Asynchronous is e-learning that, for example, I'm doing a video. I record a video, and then if using iTaklim, now we've learned quite a few tools. During the video, they can stop, and then questions will appear to assess your knowledge on that particular part, and then you tick, and then you answer, and then you move to the next part. So, but the video is pre-recorded, and then you can open it anytime. So I give you today, for example, at this moment, the lecture, and then I give you about 2 days to do and conduct and to learn. So that's as asynchronous. So you can do it tonight, tomorrow. So you have your own time. And actually that one is lower bandwidth, meaning that this is actually a higher bandwidth. You need to have high internet capacity, and the internet access or the internet connection also can play a role. Those are the challenges of synchronous like this. So for asynchronous, you can just open iTaklim or any other e-learning. So those are the two ways of e-learning that your coordinator or lecturers will be conducting. So with regards to Siti Ainun's question, the exam by default, the best is synchronous. So as I mentioned, it's either Zoom or Google Hangout. So you can present, and then the examiner can ask you at that moment. Can see face to face, and they can see your you are presenting, your body language, all those. We can assess also on that. But if it's asynchronous, it will be different. It's pre-recorded. You might be able to edit and so on and so forth. So it's a bit different. Nevertheless, I will give you the confirmation on that. But finally, the examiner can change dependent on your discussion. And that's another reason why we have been doing collecting the data. I think all of you have received the survey on online and teaching learning to see whether you have the internet capacity to do this, or you need to return back to the mahala and be present to allow you to do all this. So that's one of the reasons. Okay. Okay. Any more question? Okay. Thesis will have to be submitted at the moment. Thesis, because the shops will still be open. For the you can be able to submit online because the lecturers are also working from home. So at the moment, we will work with sending it online for the soft copy, meaning that not the hardbound. The hardbound finally will need to be sent as a hardbound, but the process before that is the soft copy and everything. It's easier for you to send it online, so the lecturers can assess using online. So it's either they will do track changes or comments to the PDF, and then they will send it back to you. So everything will be online, either Word or PDF. I'll confirm back with you. But for the thesis for assessment, will be done online. But once you have done all the comments and you have done the amendments, the hardbound will still need to be sent as a hardbound, the physical form. Okay. That is for thesis. Okay, so that's Ain Nabiha's question. Any other concerns? Have you talked to your supervisor regarding this? Anyone have talked to your supervisor asking their opinion regarding this? Or they have already mentioned to you previously? Our meeting was actually last week, and I've mentioned about the approval by Kuliah, and the Kuliah's confirmation was just recently being announced. So that's why I announced it formally yesterday, so which the day when I got this information. Was it yesterday or the day before? Can't remember. So, but at the same time, I think some lecturers has contacted their students last week as an informal. So hopefully you have talked to your supervisor. Okay, any more questions so far? All good? Kamila Fauzi says this is good. Previously, I think when I asked about whether this is good news, Kamila says this is good news. Okay. Maybe you have finished your data collection. Okay. So this everything will start on June. Yes, yes. Iza is asking, everything will start on June. Yes, everything will start on June. There is a new guideline or circulation where it says the SOP of student returning. Meaning returning is that starting the semester. So there will be about 2 weeks where the semester starts, and then students will only be allowed to come back after the 2 weeks, something like that. Please be alert on news from the batch leader. I think the DSA will always be sending some information. At the moment, I don't think they have the proper SOP for returning students to Mahala. They will do it in batches, so I don't know about that yet. No, I don't think the authority has given the detailed SOP. But what we know is that students will come late after 2 weeks, coming back to Mahala. Which students? Those students who have issues with internet. Okay. But all these classes will start in June, and all the classes will start in June. Following the course outline, yes. So like the teaching plan that you have, all the weeks, by default follows. If your lecturer has given, I don't know whether the other course coordinator has given the new teaching plan. For me, I think I've given you the new teaching plan. Follow that timetable. But now that was actually last 2 weeks, but because of this new ERTL, maybe the lecturers will give you a new teaching plan, because the assessment now has deferred and then everything has changed. They will give you. So maybe the earliest is, by expectation, is on the first week. But if they want to give it earlier, it's dependent upon depends on them if they will release it earlier to you. FYP exhibition, okay. Sorry, Nabaha is asking, FYP exhibition will turn to, oh, do you mean the poster presentation? Is it? Izzah and also Nabaha? Is that what you meant? The poster presentation seminar? Okay, so if it's, okay. So the poster presentation also will be conducted online. So among a few groups, the same group for progress. So those groups will ask questions if you have any. So 3-minute poster presentation, and then you present your poster, and the assessor will ask, and then that's it. So they will. At the moment, that's what I have at the moment so far. Assessments will be done just like that. So there will be no open exhibition done by everyone to assess. So we have to. That's the only way to be done. What is USD? USD. Oh yes. Okay. Okay. So that is how the poster presentation will be conducted in a smaller group, synchronous, and then there will be questions. Okay. Have you got any survey from the university, from the DSA or anyone asking whether questions like will you need to return to the mahala? I'm not aware of that because have you got that? Did the DDSA do any kind? DDSA conduct any such survey asking whether you will come back? Okay, ada. So then every one of you hopefully will be able to do the synchronous, like the Google Meet. Because that will be more feasible. It's really hard to do this. You wouldn't really achieve some of the learning outcomes that requires really face-to-face. Even for the poster exhibition, it's not good to conduct it online. I think because the poster exhibition itself, we want you to feel the environment, people coming in and out, and that the real way of doing an exhibition, a conference, in any kind of conference. So we need random people to ask. So you will experience how questions from a lay person, somebody from not even though in scientific background, but in other field. So we want you to experience that. Within 3 minutes, you present in a way that anyone can understand, or if you ask that the audience, his background, you can deliver in a changed way, and then that person can give you marks. Because last time we opened to everyone to give points, even though that those points are not does not go into the assessment. Assessment is mostly by the assessor, but that gives marks to the best student. But nevertheless, the best way for e-learning purposes is synchronous. So Google Hangout. So it's not proper to send the poster and then you pre-record. So we try as much as possible to get access internet. So if you cannot have good access internet at home, I think going back to Mahala is a good option. So to help to benefit the teaching and learning exercise. So it's benefit for you yourself and the lecturers. Okay, logbook. Logbook. Still, you have to send. I understand that some of you did it in physical logbook. So just send it. By default, the amount of the logbook will be assessed by your supervisor. So they will assess your meeting or your discussion online or WhatsApp discussion. Just mention all those sessions in the logbook. If you have previously done online, everything being typed out, and then just waiting to print it once it's done, then you can send it online form. But if you have pasted in, you have made a physical from a logbook, then you just need to post it. So I will give this brief on this later on once we've entered the new semester on how to on this submission, because I think this can also change. Maybe some of you upon looking about on the distribution of you, how many of you have come back and how many of you are at home. So I'll do this later on. Maybe I'll give some survey on how many of you have done it hardbound and so on and so forth. But just make sure if you're asking about submission, so that will be, I'll decide that later on, I'll give the information. But if about the details, what you want to write about, just mention. If it's not about data collection, just write what you have been doing on that day. Maybe write this particular day is you are writing something, and then you organize a discussion with your supervisor on a particular day. Just put anything in your logbook. Your supervisor will assess. They are the person who will give the marks. So they also would know your progress. So you might want to write a date. For example, this whole week, week 7, this is what you did. Chapter 1 analysis, chapter 4 analysis, you have tabulated, you have done this. So just mention in your logbook. It doesn't necessarily have to be one particular day. It can be a week in one column, in one section. So you can do that. About submission, later on I'll decide. But if don't worry about changing it to online or anything. You can always send it to the department, and then the lecturers have access to the kuliah. After the MCO is lifted, we can go to the kuliah freely. Before this, we cannot enter the kuliah. But inshallah, after the MCO is lifted, we can enter the kuliah. But there are some regulations. For example, among them is that we cannot be in one particular space more than 5, so something like that. And even we cannot do meeting offline, face to face. Even though we will be in the kuliah, we cannot, if we want to use the internet, but we cannot organize any kind of meeting. The meeting will still be held online. So that's for us. So about logbook, you can send it to the department. Somebody will pick up, and then you can the lecturer will take up, and then your supervisor will assess. Okay. Have I answered your question, my Sarah? And also, I think somebody has asked about logbook also. Oh, Shamila, about logbook. Okay. What else? Any more question? Okay, Sharif is here. Alhamdulillah, Sharif has finished data collection. I'm glad that Sharif has finished because there will be no pasar malam, even bazaar, so it might be difficult. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, I'm healthy, I'm fine, and I'm enjoying this working at home. So any more questions? Okay. Okay, looks like everything is okay. I just want to follow up with all of you. The other day, I think 2 weeks back, I read on an article. There was a survey conducted by they call themselves institution the center, and they did a survey among Malaysian on the level of depression, anxiety, stress. Okay, so using I think a common survey, a DAS survey, I think every one of you know, DAS questionnaire, depression, anxiety, and stress survey, DAS 21. So, and what they found out is that a majority of Malaysian experience negative emotions, meaning that depression or anxiety or stress, but the level differs. And surprisingly, when they did one of the tabulated results is that they divided into different categories of age group. The first was it. So the highest amount of depression, anxiety, and stress was actually among those aged 18 to 24. So about 50 to 60% experience um, ranges of negative emotion, depressed anxiety, meaning it covers mild to moderate to severe. So it's not meaning severe end, but between those range. So 50% experience this. And this 18 to 24 would be your age group. So in my Twitter, I mentioned that I hopefully I can um, um, check on you. So Alhamdulillah, the other day I had also as an academic advisor for first year, I did also this kind of session, and they said that they are okay, and most of them are at home. If there were some stranded, they were stranded at their sister's house, so still okay. And most of my students are okay, Alhamdulillah. And hopefully you all are also okay. Yeah, Camila is saying that positive, so hopefully you are positive and not among those numbers lah. Hopefully you are not among those who are depressed. I'm quite worried, but I'm asking the question that I'm asking is that why are these people being stressful, not those that are within 30 or 40 above who are working. They are should be the ones who are feeling more depressed because they are not they are, some of them cannot work, and then some of them, especially those who are doing business and not in the government sectors that have monthly salary, they might be facing. But the age group that will have having most of this depression are surprisingly 18 to 24, which are students. So I'm quite surprised, and I'm wondering why is this possible. Do you have the answer? But hopefully, Alhamdulillah, these people are not amongst you. So hopefully you are using this. That's why. Future uncertain. Okay. Camila says stress with online learning or thinking about their future. Okay, okay. Depressed because future uncertain. Fariha says bercinta. Oh ya, bercinta. Tak dapat berjumpa. Berjumpa apa, mata ke mata. Okay. Probably peer influence. Zulaika says not me. Maya overthinking. Social media. Shamila says social media. So shouldn't that be meaning that you are more adapted to the online? Okay. Okay. Farah says judging Fariha is on. Tak faham apa Fariha. Judging Fariha is on. Okay. Compare dengan life orang lain. Expectations put on us. What do you mean expectation, Maisara? Insecurity from social. Oh, okay. Insecurity from. Camila says insecurity from social media. Is it because because you are not going out, everything is in now living inside the social media, and social media is not the truth, so you become insecure, and then because your life now is around social media, and social media is mostly false, and there's some information or people saying that social media, there's much of it is only fake. I don't know. Does that make some people insecure? Um, so Aina Biha says sebab tak dapat keluar rumah, that yeah, that's true. You cannot see your friends. Because life changing, no friends at home. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, people tend to believe what they show. Probably, yeah. That's how social media works. Even though there's a lot of fake, not fake news, but fake personality, fake so on and so forth, fake life in social media. So that some people may be only observing this, so they feel insecure. That might be possible. So thank you for that knowledge. So okay, expectation from parents, pressure on our future. That's true. You bear in mind that you, I think, still okay. Third year. Imagine those fourth year that. Do you know that you cannot graduate this year? So there's no graduation this year. That is now confirmed. No university can conduct any such graduation ceremony this year, at least up to December, and pray that it does not continue to next year. But at the moment, there will be no such graduation up to this year. I actually am expecting to graduate for my postgraduate diploma, inshallah, this year. So I'm also quite sad that I'll not be able to graduate this year for my postgraduate diploma in Islamic studies. So maybe I'll graduate together with you next year. Alhamdulillah, that's a good news. But so and then some people, future expectation. Suddenly now there's difference. What will happen afterwards? And about e-learning, just to respond, previously somebody said about expectation on e-learning. Yes, e-learning, Kamila mentioned, online learning. Bear in mind that not only the students, the lecturers are also stressful. So I'd like to share that, as I mentioned earlier on, every day we have e-learning course provided by the Center for Professional Development, and they are using Zoom. Zoom maximum capacity is 300 participants. So imagine that every day it's 300. and they have to also do a separate streaming online YouTube. So those who cannot enter, they will have to watch online streaming, and that is also more than 50 participants every day. So imagine every day how much the lecturers in URA are doing their best to learn. And I want to share to you also, there are questions. I might not be putting this public in my YouTube. Maybe this will be unlisted. There are questions from the lecturers, basic questions um, on online. So you can imagine how our age is quite challenging, difficult. So the questions are some basic ones that I think the students can a bit more explorative. But everyone is passionate to ask and to are ready to learn, because this is the only way forward. We cannot. We have to admit that we have to do this. Before this, everyone has been asking to do online learning, but somehow because optional and it's a small percentage in our task, so everyone still depends on offline and face to face. But now everyone has to jump into this, so everyone is trying hard to learn. So everyone is in the same boat. Expectation, no true words have been spoken. Kena extend apa, Zulaika? Possibility kita kena extend MCO or the semester most likely would not. Okay, I want to answer Zulaika's question after this about clinical student, even in grad something. Okay. Okay. Asia question is how about clinical? Grad ceremony, will they extend the semester? Okay, these are the questions. Okay. Now, about clinical, I'd like to share you what we have been among the things that we are discussing. There are certain things that is really difficult to do online. It's not possible for you to do online for clinical, right? For community placement, we finally, when we discussed, there were some suggestions like online community. So that might be possible for community placement. But others is impossible for you to do online. So among the things that were suggested and are now in proposal is that the clinical students, they still proceed if things that can be assessed of online, they can do online. But those particular assessment or things that cannot be online, they will IP and bring forward next semester. You will do some parts offline, is either lab work or a certain visit offline, and then you will finish that particular course. So, for example, that course is this year, or next semester. Sorry, this next semester, not this semester. So the coming semester in July, which will be extended in October. So that semester, for example, you have rotation. Once finished, you will the IP, and then those particular things that really require physical presence, we will bring next year. You do those kind of assessment or visit or examine or anything, and then you can finish that particular course. So those are among the options, so that you will not extend more semester, so that you can finish by, if the whole course is about 4 years, so hopefully you will not extend another semester. So those are among the things that we are trying to do to accommodate that we can finish all of you by the stipulated years of study. But obviously, in terms of the month, it surely will extend, because, for example, the semester has extended a bit, but I don't know whether it can change back. The semester can change back by dropping a few semesters. So we need to, you need to, the information will come later on. But what I want to share is that we are trying our best so that we can finish by the semester. We don't want you to just simply extend next year and do everything next year. So if anything can be conducted online, we will try as much as possible to do it. And those parts which requires physical assessment, we will IP first, allow you to finish that um, um, what do you call that? Get that grades, not grade. I mean, assessment, and finish that particular semester, that course, but IP for certain assessments only. I hope you can understand the explanation. Okay. Yeah. So extend. Zuleika's mentioned about extend semester. So that's something that we are trying to accommodate as much as possible. If it's totally not possible, then um, we we cannot do it. So among other things is that we are trying to discuss whether industrial training can be conducted in private hospitals. So there's a few discussion going on. For clinical, I am not the appropriate person to answer. But what I know from just the previous department meeting, where they will conduct other meetings with regard to clinical, what I know that they are trying, these are among the things that we are trying to accommodate. We want the students to finish by time. So hopefully this can give a bit of relief to you, or if you have some friends in the clinical years, please tell them that these are the things that the lectures are also. So hopefully you are not too stressful and anxiety and what more depressed. Don't add to the statistics, inshallah. Okay, any more questions? So on, so far? Anything else? Okay, so it's already 1 hour. So I think we planned this for just 1 hour, and then you can get back to your daily routine. And is there anything else? I'll just open to any more questions. If there's any more questions. Okay, ready to cook? Maybe boleh tulis sikit what's your juara berbuka for today. I want to see uh, maybe you can share the joy what you'll be having today. Shamila, Masya Allah, ikan siakap. So Shamila is having ikan siakap sweet sour. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Tak masak lagi. Plan tak ada plan. Farah. Um, so Alhamdulillah, for me tomorrow is our neighborhood. Alhamdulillah, I'm the president for of my kejiranan, my neighborhood. Tomorrow we organized a free iftar lah. So we open a table in the entrance of our community, and then so we open for everyone to drop some iftar by organizing. So a few tables with distances, and then with all the safety hygiene precautions, so people will drive through and take the iftar, free iftar for everyone. So tomorrow there's many things, alhamdulillah. Today, inshallah, for me, Daging bakar, insyaAllah daging bakar. So Maya is eating, will be having bubur jagung. Wow, that's interesting. Maisara sama juga, sweet sour, macam Syamilah. Nabaha nasi ayam, Farah puding custard. Oh, interesting. Kuih tiaw soup. Kuih tiaw soup, lama tak makan kuih tiaw. Nur Alia pun sweet sour. Grilled chicken Asia. Dari the western lah. Grilled chicken, nice. Syafiqah nasi kerabu. Are you in Kelantan, Syafiqah? Okay, Izzah is ikan patin tepoyak. Untunglah, this might be orang Temelong ke Izzah ni. Okay, so very interesting. So Alhamdulillah, looks like you are masak daging bakar masak. InsyaAllah dah tengah tor daging tu. Tunggu nak bakar lah. Terlalu dah okay. So okay, I think just reading this this list of juada, Alhamdulillah, hopefully you all are having a great time at home. I'm happy that everyone is at home, and so insyaAllah with that I would like to end this session by again inviting everyone to fully utilize our Ramadan with family, and by increasing our tilawah. Today is already 15th of Ramadan. So hopefully we have gone up to Juzuk 15. We try as much as possible to read the Quran. Try even though slow, tapi Allah will give the blessings. Allah looks at our effort. Even though we read slow, but Allah will always ganjarkan our efforts. And for those, I think looking for sources of tadabbur or understanding the Quran, Syekh Yasir Qadhi is conducting online in his YouTube channel online discussion on the Quran. So day to day, every surah in the Quran, a brief overview of the surah. So you can go to the channel Yasir Qadhi or Epic Masjid, East Plain, I think, I can't remember, East Plain Islamic Center, so short form EPIC Masjid in Canada, or is it in US? Can't remember that. I'm not too sure the masjid location, but every day there will be live streaming at the same time recorded lah. So hopefully you can benefit from that. With that, I'll just read again the chat. Thank you. Izzah orang Temedung. Mana Izzah? Patutlah Izzah makan ikan patin. Yeah, okay, everything. Thank you. Selamat berbuka. So with that, selamat berbuka pada semua. Then I also thank you for this session. And last, let's kita tangguh dengan tasbih kafara and suratul Nas. Okay, I'll just snap a photo. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll see you next time.